Hi everyone and welcome to my channel. I'm Irene and today I want to show you a garden project. I found in a barn a couple of old folding chairs, a bucket, a box and some other old junk, and out of all this I want to create a charming romantic garden nook like in a picture or in those garden magazines. So let's see what I'll make out of all this. I'll start with the chairs. They are well-shaped, strong and comfortable with cane inserts, but are rather shabby. The cane, despite its age, is in good condition, so I've decided not to change it. It's quite expensive where I live, and I'm going to be painting the chairs. Since the varnish doesn't chip off anywhere and the chairs generally do not need much sanding, I'll just clean the surface well before painting. I'm using a degreaser, it dissolves grease and dirt perfectly. I'm wiping the surface of the chairs thoroughly with a cloth soaked in the degreaser. After that, I'm covering the cane along the perimeter with masking tape, both on top and on the inside of the chairs. First, I'm priming the chairs. This time I'm using bonding primer. I love using it because you don't need to sand the surface before priming. It provides excellent adhesion and paint holds perfectly on it. For painting furniture, I prefer using solvent-based primer. It holds much better than a water-based one. I'm waiting for the primer to dry and then I'll be painting the chairs. I want to make them black. I'm using the same outdoor acrylic enamel that I had used to paint the mosaic table in the last video. By the way, this table will be the main character of my garden nook. In case you've missed the video where I made it, I'll leave the link for it in the description box below. Black furniture might sound like a bit of a strange choice for a romantic nook, but I just really like the combo of beige cane framed in black. It highlights and emphasizes the cane texture very well. Speaking of the cane, probably you're wondering why didn't I replace it? The chairs are very old and it's torn in a couple of places. At first I even thought about doing it, but when I looked at the prices for cane, I changed my mind. For a small piece of cane for 2 seats and backs of the chairs, I would have to pay about $70. I decided that my chairs will do quite well without replacing the cane, especially since the seats are still strong and hold well. I don't know if cane mesh costs as much in the US, but I suppose it is not, since I've watched tons of tutorials with it. Don't think people would use it so often if it was very expensive. So I'm painting the chairs, giving them about 2-3 coats of paint. Finally, an exciting moment. I'm taking off the masking tape. Wow, isn't it a real beauty? I think that the black emphasized perfectly the cane and the chairs look so much more stylish and modern now. In the barn, I also came across an old wooden box. It had been used for storing screws and other hardware, and I think it will be a perfect planter. It doesn't even need any aging or finishing, it looks good as is. The only thing I want to do is to decorate it with stenciling. Let it be a French sweets vintage box. Sounds romantic, doesn't it? I'm attaching the stencil with masking tape and applying black paint with a stiff brush over the stencil. This stencil is from AliExpress and I'll leave the link for it in the description box as usual. After everything is painted over, I'm removing the stencil, covering the writing with matte varnish, and the planter is ready. This is a super simple DIY and I think the inscription looks really cute. I love stenciled inscriptions, they add this vintage feeling, you know. I'll need more planters for my garden nook and I'm going to make one more planter out of an old utility bucket. First I'll trim the top. I'm attaching masking tape around the entire circumference of the bucket to mark the edge and cutting it with a Dremel tool. You can also cut it off with a jigsaw. I'm going to attach wooden planks onto the bucket. I found several planks of a suitable size in the barn. They are 2/3 inch by 1 inch and they fit just perfectly. I'm measuring what length I'll need and cutting the planks. I'm marking them about 10 inches in length. I'm staining these planks in a grey-brown. This is briar smoke from Parathon, and then I'm sealing them with a transparent matte varnish. I'm doing this before assembly because it's gonna be hard to get into the seams and everything after the assembly. I'm attaching masking tape to the bucket again and marking where the planks will sit on it. I've got 30 planks, so I'm dividing the circumference by 30 and I'm drilling 30 holes near the bottom. Then I'm marking the holes along the upper edge of the bucket. Here I'm attaching a carpenter square to the bucket and marking the upper holes exactly above the lower ones. And I'm drilling all the holes as well. After that, I'm fastening the planks to the bucket with tiny screws. At first I'm fastening only the bottom edges where the planks are packed tightly and there will be no gaps. And then I'm attaching the top edges of the planks. First I'm attaching every second or third plank, trying to screw into the very middle of the plank, and then finishing the rest, trying to make all the gaps between the planks the same size. Then I'm sanding the edges of the planks. As you can see, I haven't stained and sealed them in advance exactly for this reason. I'm rounding all the edges to make them nice and smooth. All that is left is to stain and seal the plank's edges, and we're good to go. This planter is very budget-friendly to make. You just need a bucket and you can use an old one and some planks, but in the end it looks like a real wooden planter. I'm going to make the nook in the shade of this old apple tree. I like its shape and it naturally creates a canopy of branches. To make it look even more romantic, we've decided to add fairy lights there. We're using solar-powered string lights. We buy them on AliExpress. There are 6 or 7 of these string lights in our garden already. I'll leave the link for them in the description box. The quality is great and the price is really affordable. Gary wrapped the tree branches with the string lights. The main thing here is to place the solar panels correctly. You should put them really high and facing direct sun so that the string light is being charged well. We've got a shady garden, so this is not a simple task. After the string lights are in place, I'm going to collect the whole arrangement together. First we are placing the table, of course, then the chairs, and the planter where I put a Siberian melic grass. You can use any container plants here. I think a boxwood or a hydrangea would be great. Then I'm installing a couple of lanterns. These are handmade, but I haven't shown this video to you since it's very old and the video quality is bad. I'm placing LED candles into the lanterns. I'm installing the third lantern next to another chair. This one you've seen already, I made it recently, and I'm placing a battery-operated fairy lights inside. I'm adding more container flowers. Here I've got an Euphorbia Diamond Frost. Love this plant, it looks so nice. The French Sweets box has got several tiny box foods. And finally more lights. We've bought several solar-powered Edison bulbs. They look just like real ones but are made of plastic, so you can use them outside safely. I'm hanging them among the branches. Time for some tea.
You as you drive, do you know I'm looking, and I can't help but smile. Do you know how much I love you? You put my favorite song on, I put my feet up, and we just sing along, and I can't help but feeling, just loving this moment. Can we stay here forever? I'm
The garden nook is really looking so cozy and romantic, just like I wanted it to be. Of course, the most magical time is evening, when all the lights are flickering through the foliage and you can sit and dream about something over a cup of tea or even a glass of good wine. But drinking coffee in the garden in the morning while listening to the birds singing here is just as good. The best thing is that this makeover is really budget friendly. I've tried to make the most of what I already had. I've used a lot of old things and junk. It's important for me that all the items here are removable quickly. We have so many rains in summer, and sitting on the wet chairs is not the best thing in the world. And I also have to mow the grass every week, so folding chairs are the perfect choice. Potted plants are also easy to move back and forth if you want to change the arrangement. I have long wanting to have a container garden, so I think there will be more of them over time.
So I hope you liked today's project. Please let me know what you think of it down below. Thanks for watching this video and hope to see you in the next one. Bye!